So welcome back if you're coming back, and welcome if it's your first time. No, this is, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's sort of weird, the message. I mean, it's not over unless it really is over. And you might have felt it, only you just can't put it into words. But you know what you are feeling, and you're spot on, despite all the confusion that you are exposed to. And sometimes it's not even being allowed for you to say it's over when God really has bestowed it on you and He wants you to get it. And it is just that you need to stop being stubborn by resisting and allow God to orchestrate what is meant to be, because He always knows what is best for you. And I can relate to this very well, because there are so many things I resisted to, but I had a hard time then accepting the truth, only later on to realize and understand and learn that it is not worth fighting that which is meant for you, especially when it has something to do with God's secret wisdom. And I surrendered. Of course, there are still some things I'm not really understanding, but I have accepted that I need to let go and let God. And that's what we are supposed to be doing most of the time. Sometimes there are some things that you might not understand, so you just let go and let God. Go with the flow. We don't need to have all the answers to everything. There is plenty of things that we could know, and we should not take it personal to try and challenge God, the Most High, for what we don't understand. Because the human nature is naturally sort of stubborn, and we get skeptical over anything that we don't know or which is beyond our understanding. People are always afraid of what they don't know. And sometimes it is just that we are being egoistic, just not to accept something just because we think we know better, and yet there are things that are hidden and only known to God, the Most High. And we should learn to surrender our not knowing and trust what God is trying to show us. And it is just that some things just don't get to be questioned. You will get your answers with time as everything unfolds, once you stop resisting against the current flow of how things are meant to be. And some things are just happening just because there is a blessing behind it. And we are guided to give the example of the devil and Adam and Eve. Eve's curiosity got the better of her, and she got tricked by the devil, and when it came to the forbidden fruit, she went against the rules because she was made to start questioning that which had been forbidden. All because of the devil. And the devil got banished from heaven because he questioned man's authority over everything and refused to bow to bow to mankind. And his pride got the best of him. And Adam, he cared too much for Eve, and because he saw her as his companion, created from his rib, his compassion for her got the better of him, and they lost the status they had with heaven. And curiosity kills the cat sometimes, especially when it comes to things that have boundaries. The devil was intent on trying to prove that man was no better than him, and that he knew better than God, and that's why he lost. All the events were predictable from beginning according to the choices made by the particular individuals, and accordingly the results that came up from all the actions taken by the decisions and choices made were inevitable. And everything has a blessing. Human beings, that is Adam and Eve, may God bless them, had to go through that so that they understood that the devil was always going to be their enemy, and they were to always take precaution against the devil, and that still goes on to this day. And that was meant to happen, and it had been written, because they were going to experience earth, and that was just a reason to get them to earth. If you have someone who has been acting toxic and devilish against you before, and then you decided to make peace with them by not indulging with the toxicity, or rather just stay away, keep your boundaries intact, just know that you always need to be careful around them, because they have 1,001 tricks up their sleeve always against you. And that's what happens normally. Just like the devil felt ashamed from being banished from heaven and decided to take revenge, these persons who had done you wrong are likely to do the same thing again and again, over and over again, if they are still indulging in their toxicity. It is rare that some people decide to change into a new life, and those who do so, that generally are people who decide to surrender to God the Most High. Because being spiritual, with including surrendering to God, strengthens the faith of the heart and makes you more resilient against any negative thing. It would be hard to try and do wrong when you are sincere in your faith towards God the Most High. Unlike that individual who just relies on their own decision making and instincts, sometimes you could have instinct and still do wrong using your instinct. Submission to God sincerely stops that egoistic need and desire to prove yourself over anything, because whatever you do it for the sake of God the Most High. And God is the only one whom you seek to please, and not just any other of His creations. So just be careful of that one who might want to take revenge against you, if by any chance you were the reason they got their favors cut from. Sometimes it might seem like they are cooperating with you and are supporting and loving, and as if they have no grudge against you, and as if they really appreciate you. But beneath all that, no one really knows what could be going on in their minds and what they're planning to do, because generally that is what is happening behind the scenes. They are always planning something. That's the general outlook of such kind of people. So just be careful, especially if there are reasons for them to have hidden agendas against you. Because and at the same time they're using your psychology. They're trying to manipulate your psychology by trying to be all sweet and loving and seeming as if kind in some way. Not that I'm telling you to be paranoid, but precaution is best than cure when damage is done later on. Take precautions just in case any unexpected things ever happen, and you might find yourself not even at crossroads, but roadblock or road end. There might have been some who had been skeptical from beginning of what you do or just how you are. I mean, they don't want to accept you for who you are, and openly showed this as well, has tried to influence others against you or your ideas. Just be mindful when dealing with such types of people and take your precautions. Because when you are in constant negotiation with particular persons or scenarios, it is easy to lose track of mindfulness and think that you know what to expect, and then you relax and believe nothing out of odds could happen, and that's pretty normal. But if you're dealing with those who stabbed you before, just be mindful of them if you survive their stabbing. Such people don't give up easily. They always believe that they can always get victory over you, even with the slightest chance they get, especially if they were deeply brought down and felt any kind of shame. They look for the next strike each and every time, and it is rare that they learn their lesson because they act out of ego. It's like they've lost their humanity in a way. They just won't be as compassionate as you are because that hurts their ego. It's against their nature because they are following their ego. And most of the time they will show you signs before striking, by the way. They always try to demean you whenever they have the chance to do that. Just be wary of such. Because they will be, 1 minute they're cold and the next minute they're warm. The next minute they're cold and the next minute they're warm. That's toxic. And know also that you can't trust their judgment over anything to do with you for any decision or reference where you need to include them in. Seek assurance and over another person's view from 3 more people who are not associated with them in any way. People whom you feel you could trust not to be taking sides and who are discernful in judgment. I'm not sure where this is really going to or how it should unfold. I'm just going with the flow, and it might sound raw in a way, but it is what it is. And you will know when it's over, when it really is over. Just be mindful and stay safe. This was sort of weird, sort of like a coded kind of a message, but still almost clear for the right person, for the right time, and I hope that helps. So we are guided to stop here, and may God always send help your way and allow your heart to expand with goodness for your own sake, and may you always be blessed on any right way of that which is God the Most High. Amen. So I'll be seeing you in the next one. Till then, take care of yourself. Be well, and with much love, God bless.